Okay, so one more video, just because I think it would be a benefit to my class. The book in the class shows the installation of mirror planes, or mirror some objects from one side of the building to the other. One confusing thing about planes that I've run into is that it's really hard to define them in a model. We tried to do this in class yesterday. It didn't really quite work out too well, but gave it some thought. And again, if you think about the site plan actually dictating the ultimate orientation of the building in our model that we're putting together in our little Revit universe that we're looking at here, um, what you want to do is have a model that's kind of fluid and that you can still manipulate, that you can rotate and move within that site plan until you finally get it into an orientation you find acceptable on the site plan. So you can still take the model here if you selected it all, and you'll rotate it and do some other things to it. It does give you that ability. It's not necessarily constrained to the northeast southwest orientation that we have here, but it definitely makes it a lot easier to model. So let's say we want to insert a plane in here, just like the book showed. And the desire with some of these planes is to be able to put in some elements in here that can be mirrored from one side to the other, specifically walls, like if you want to do a hallway. So it's difficult. I mean, you can pick up like midpoints of like walls up here, like the book suggests, and then put a plane down here. But the problem with the plane right now is it's not defined at all. You can still move it around. So let's do Control Z. What you can do with the plane once we put it in here is just like we did before. We have an 11-foot dimension. Puts it right there in the middle. We can make that a permanent dimension, and then take that plane and take those dimensions and lock it. And once you do that, then the plane is in the middle and it moves with the house. That's desirable if you could do something like that. So let's do that again. Reference plane. Let's go ahead and pick up the midpoint relationship on that end wall, and let's go ahead and make that a permanent dimension and take these dimensions and lock them into place. And that's how we get those planes in there. Pretty easy. So. One thing to keep in mind about the planes is planes don't drive the model. They don't drive the walls, interior or exterior walls of the model. It's the model itself, or the walls, that drive where the planes are going to be. And one advantage of the planes are now, if we want to put a hallway perhaps right down to this building with a front door over here and perhaps rooms on either side, we can do that. And one thing to keep in mind too about our dimensions, they might get in the way of our model, as you kind of see me moving this out of the way. If we were to take those dimensions, actually delete them, they're still there. We don't want to unconstrain them, so we're going to keep them there. And if we were to click on that plane, it'll still show us that that plane is locked. And we can put those dimensions back in there. Again, if you go to Annotate, go to the Align Dimension, we can put those dimensions back in here, and there they go. They're there and ready to use. And sometimes you get the temporary dimensions to pop up there too, and all you have to do is click on the button to make those permanent. So anyways, now we have that plane in place. We have the ability to take a wall, like an interior wall, and be able to mirror that from one side to the other. So I'm just going to take a generic 5-inch wall and draw that wall right down the middle. And if we go to Annotate, put a dimension on that, or if we just click on that, it'll give us a temporary dimension. It gives us a lot of temporary dimensions. So maybe the align dimension might be a good thing. It's going to go from the wall center line to that. And that's set up at 4 feet. Didn't intend it to be so, but that sounds like a good distance for a hall, perhaps. We can change that value to, so maybe 2.5 feet, 2.5 would be good. And now we can take that wall and mirror it to the other side. So if you click on that wall, and if you're on the Modify tab up here on a ribbon, we're going to pick the axis, which is really a plane. We're going to pick that. It's going to put it on the other side. And now we're in pretty good shape. So now we have a 5-foot hall. Let's go ahead and take that dimension we're going to make there. We're going to lock that into place. Let's click in this wall and see if we can lock that 5-foot dimension in there. We're going to take this 8-foot 6-inch dimension and take that witness line and bring that back over here. So all we have is that 5-foot dimension again. Lock that into place, and now we're in pretty good shape. So now if we were to try to move, since the plane is fixed to the model, and now the walls are fixed to the plane, these all should move with the model over here to move that around. And that's the way that works. So that's kind of what you want to do with your dimensions. You want to make sure your dimensions constrain your model, but don't necessarily constrain it completely like in a horizontal or vertical direction, northeast, southwest direction. You still have the ability to rotate it around, but if your model is going to have specific dimensions associated with it, you want to make sure those dimensions are locked on the model so that items within the model, like the walls within the model, don't move anymore. Then this is a pretty good technique to do that. So thanks for joining me, and join me for other videos.